Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. We are proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. These programs are available through viewing through a YouTube channel for future use because they are recorded, except for Texas winds. I am Martha Brown, your host for today, and we are looking at Amon Carter Museum of American Art. Peggy Spier is our speaker today, and she is bringing us red. I can't wait to see what red looks like to you, Peggy. Have at it.
So Peggy, when I first heard this, I thought about Sesame Street. This is the color red. What else is red? What do you see as red?
One of these things is not like the other. I'm just
exactly.
Different.
Color Red, brought to you by Peggy Spier.
Which one's Elmo? Brought to you by Elmo.
Oh.
We just recently discovered my kids Sesame Street because we have HBO, and there are over like 50 seasons of Sesame Street.
Wow.
So they will be entertained for the next 50 years.
The early seasons were actually better than some of the later ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, because Valentine's Day is next Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we did love, I think last Valentine's Day. So I thought let's just open it up a little bit to just the color red. And I laughed because Yetta at this one, I was like, I know Yetta's not gonna like this one.
I'm ready to give it to what's her name again? Paulette.
Well, yeah,
Oh, yes.
right.
Paulette, yeah.
Well, and
Get a
it's funny
poem.
because we'll talk about it, but this artwork was part of a series with this artwork and this artwork, and I was like,
Wow.
Yetta's really not gonna like this
We've
one.
seen those before.
Yeah, we've seen them all before, and I didn't realize they were all part of this portfolio. It's like something, I want to make sure I'm getting the title of it right, like 10 works by 10 artists, something pretty generic. And so I was like, oh, I wonder what the other artists and artworks were. And I was like, oof, this isn't going to bode well with some of my friends. So
And they all call it Untitled because they have no clue what it is.
The third one, I'm surprised some of the neuropsych hasn't pulled that up. And
Yeah, exactly.
okay, what do you see?
What do you see?
Yeah.
I see a butterfly.
Yeah,
Morse code.
yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No. So this was part of the 10 artists who are essentially making the same type of color field, abstract expressionism artworks at the same time. And so there were 10 artists. They were all screen prints and one collage, I believe.
Ooh.
And this particular one is just, when I looked in our database, I looked for the color red to start, and this is Untitled, but it was tagged red, so not much to say about it. What do we think?
Looks like a thumbprint.
I was just saying the same, Martha. Thumbprint against the blue sky.
Oh my goodness.
Or it's the how you say, big end of a balloon,
See, that's what I saw.
or a
Oh,
blimp,
funny.
or a blimp.
Yes.
I saw a balloon.
I saw the right half of a Valentine's Day heart. So because it goes down and then it goes back and around. And then
It's a very
you flip it
skinny
over.
part.
Yeah, very, very thin heart.
I thought you were going to say a sausage, Don, since we talked.
Well, I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to go there. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Try not to go there. Yeah, so-
That's a good idea, Don. That is really good aspect. Yes.
It's not like,
So, there's not much really to say about this particular artwork. It was just an abex. This artist was working at the same time as a lot of the other artists who are experimenting with color and form and balance and just basic elements in art. And so this particular one is just another in the series. And this artist worked a lot in this large, broad color form way. All right, so there's not much to say about that one, but this one is, again, sorry, Yoda, a very, very,
Asian.
It has a very Asian feel to it. It does. And I think it's because, well, you tell me why.
The red
It
sun?
looks like the Japanese flag.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the Japanese flag. This particular artist this was a very common theme in his work. So he was really interested in, sorry, my notes are like all out of sorts. Okay, so he was
Take
really
your time.
interested in the control and kind of the chaos and the static and the dynamic. So it's kind of a, this was something he revisited over and over and over and over again. And you can see this particular type of format where there's a circular solid color circle at the top, and then something that is black and feels a little more alive at the bottom.
Mm.
And he divided it into 2 zones. Doesn't it feel like 2 zones, or do you feel like this is very holistic?
No, I think it's two
Well,
separate zones,
Two
yeah.
tones, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what it looked like if the bottom was red. It's almost like the red tomato was flying apart or something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He typically made the bottom zone black.
Hmm.
And so the color when you're seeing it
Mm.
typically in these types of
Yeah,
prints were at the top. And then the black was at the bottom, kind of as an anchor, kind of, there's the duality in so many things you can analyze this. So what are some things that the like and the different, what do you think of when you think of that outside of now the Japanese flag? What are some dualities you can assign with this?
Well, order and chaos.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Neat and sloppy.
Yep.
Neat and sloppy.
Symmetry and asymmetry.
That's
Mhm.
right. Oh man, you got the good words
Warm
today,
and
Steve.
cold,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, it just popped.
That's good.
I liked warm and cold, Yetta.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some art historians talk about the having it together with the circle, and then the kind of the chaos we talked about at the bottom. But at any given moment, those things could change.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
mean, because if you're looking at this, he calls these bursts, the artist called these bursts, and burst is like, it's not a particular series, but these, color, how like Jeffrey Albers did the squares and the squares and the squares of color studies. It's like that same type of thing where he was doing this over and over again. So he just titled them bursts. This is whatever. This idea of any minute that red ball could drop or that black thing could all come together. So that
Yeah.
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
happy, and then life, that always happens, this ebb and flow, this up and down, this coming together and dispersing, he was really interested in. So while it seems like a very simple circle and shape, there was a lot he was grappling with just in those 2 shapes.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
so,
Peggy,
yeah.
what kind of paper is this print? Is the print
You know
on?
what? I don't know. It's a lithograph, so it's probably like a white wove paper, something
Okay,
like that.
okay.
But it's 30 by 22 inches, so it's
Wow.
it's pretty big. Yeah, and dark and light. He was really interested in dark and light, and he was in the 1920s. He was in the ABEX scene, I believe, and people caught on to his work, loved his work, and so he did gain financial success, and then was able to kind of take it running with what he was experimenting with. People really responded well to his art. And he was really, really interested in supporting other artists. So when he died, he ended up having a foundation set up in his name where there are artists who can apply for grants or be awarded grants to support their artistic endeavor, because he truly believed that the responsibility for an artist is to be an image maker. And so, with that comes a lot of experimenting and working through to get to an image that you want. So he, along with Ellis Worth, who we just looked at, I believe, they both have foundations set up for artists to continue their practice, which is really cool. All right, so we're leaving this red dot to another.
Wow.
I promise we have very
Yeah.
representational things coming up. I promise you.
Now, this is one of the nicer ones.
Okay, what makes this more appealing to you than the
I
red
don't-
thumbprint?
I guess the different shape of the white things.
Yeah, it feels a little more weighted or not, less floating in the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Tamarin print. He was one of the artists. He did a lot of artwork, but he was a well-known sculptor. And so he was invited to the Tamarin workshop with where we've seen so many artists who were well-known, but then working in that medium. And so this is very reminiscent or very like his sculptures with these types of shapes. And he liked jazz. Do you see elements of someone who might like jazz in here?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. A lot of artists during this time when jazz was really, becoming more and more mainstream. You'll see kind of like a staccato, you'll see these ups and downs. It's almost like this improvisational feel to what they're doing. But there is not much improv allowed within this medium, but you get that, you can start to get that sense of the ups and the downs and the peaks and the valleys within the music, the way you might hear in music, you kind of can see that within the artwork.
I'm looking at it and I'm seeing, okay, you look at the two on the left and the right, and you look at the center one. If you combine them together, it becomes a center.
Yeah.
Oh,
Left and right become the center one.
Mhm.
Oh.
So the other thing I'm looking at is it's like one of those tests you take in, or
I
one
was
of those
waiting, I had a feeling.
one of your
someone was
pictures you
gonna say
look
that.
at, where if you
Mhm.
if you focus on the red, you see one thing. but
Yeah,
if you
are they
focus on the
kissing or
right-
is it a candlestick? That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It
Go
does look like
on.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it does have that feel to it. And I don't know if any of you are Matisse fans, but this has a lot of feel to his paper collages where he would cut out bold leaf looking like kind of globular shapes and make these or paint these massive, very flat, very colorful artworks. And he was very much inspired by Matisse, which if you were to see this next to a Matisse, you would see that.
It to me, it almost represents the circle or the oblong on top that's red came out of the white in the center where you got the opening. It kind of
Mm.
squished up.
Oh,
Like a lava lamp.
Like a lava. That's what I was thinking about. I
Yeah.
was just thinking about that. Yeah, lava lamp.
Mhm.
Cool. Go Steve. I see a lady in a printed dress.
Oh, okay. And like a full skirt down here.
The head and then the round dress.
Okay.
Okay.
sure.
Sure, sure.
Hey,
The one,
that's
the
good.
one on the left is like a Marilyn Monroe, right? With a little skinny waist. Oh no, what's the lady in White Christmas who just had a little tiny waist? I can't
Oh, yeah,
remember.
yeah.
No, and then you go from there. No, sorry. Okay.
The things you all see, you are now like they imprint on my brain, and I can never view any of these artworks in their purest form again because your voices have all filtered in through what you're seeing.
We are influencing art, everybody.
I love
Hey,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yay.
Oh,
We
that's
got our
cool.
O'Keefe. So now we're moving from the abstract. Now we're kind of in abstract representational before we go full representational.
That's nice. I like that.
It's nice. Yeah, I like this one too.
So I'm going to show you a picture for context how large this artwork is.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Right, you can see,
Wow.
and then these are actually red cannas.
Mm.
So
Very detailed, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did a
it's
very
funny
good job.
because this photograph, our photographers had to obviously photograph this on staff, And he has said that this is the hardest thing to photograph because you cannot pick up the reds the way that O'Keeffe has them on a canvas. So what you're seeing does not do justice to the beauty that is this art.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. And let's go back to the two pictures. Okay. So you see a lot more red there than you do with the single one.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the perspective of the lighting too, I think is part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like from this particular one, he had to light it from the top and the bottom because you can see kind of that raking light.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
That's a beautiful picture.
If you ever come across, if you ever come across one of her coffee table books, if you can't get to the museum, the coffee table books are powerful.
Yeah. I mean, everything she does, she can't do wrong in my book. So this particular, the red cannas, the subject of red cannas was something she revisited time and time again. She really loved this particular flower. And it was, and this is like very characteristic of her unique style. I mean, when you think of an O'Keeffe, you almost always think of these up close flowers that really, you know, put her on the, she was an artist for a long time, but put her on the map. Again, she was married to Stieglitz, the photographer / the avant-garde kind of honcho in New York City. And so he, through him, she was able to, you know, share her artwork on her own merit. She was already great, but he helped elevate the exposure for her career. And they got married, and his family had a lake house up in Lake George in the Adirondacks. And so these cannas grew at the lake house. And so she painted the cannas, and she painted them up close because she wanted to remember that feeling, like the flowers meant more to her than just the flower. It was at a place she loved with the person she loved. So she wanted to give the attention to the flower that she felt every flower was due. And so that's kind of the mental thing, or the thought process behind a lot of these close-ups of the flowers. She wanted each to memorialize what each flower meant to her.
It kind of reminds me of I can't remember. I think it was an art project sometime where they said, go outside and find a flower or plant and just sit there and look at it and get every different aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, and then see if you can draw some of it, you know, related to it. You know,
what I've done with kids in the past when we're looking at this artwork is I'll give them a little mat of, you know, with only an inch by inch window cut out of the mat, and have them go up to flowers and try to frame and section off the details of a flower.
Oh, that's cool. That's
smart.
nice.
Yeah, and it's really fun because, you know, kids, you know, they're not toddlers, like elementary school age and stuff, but they're not thinking like that. So it's really fun to see, you know, have people begin to start to realize, oh, I can see these in different points of view, and it means something more than maybe it did before.
You see the little pieces and then you see the whole.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you see the whole and you bring it down to the little pieces that make the whole.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. That's kind of what this artist was trying to
Really
tell
cool.
us to do, is just go look and see the, you know, the different things of the different flowers.
Yeah.
The intimacy.
The thing that I wonder about, knowing that she went to the lake house from wherever she lived, is how many canvases did she take with her? I mean, this looks like
I don't know if she was painting al fresco. I don't know that
I see.
much. I don't know if she was, because he was a photographer, so I mean, not in color, but if there were pictures taken that then she was able to.
Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it too was stuff that she would get in studio, and she would remember how she remembered, take what she remembered, because that's how her memory went to her.
Right.
And so she, you know, she's also using she's really just using red and white and some yellow. You know, you can see, and it's a she's highlighting this in such a beautiful way, and she's wanting it to really be a testament to nature. I mean, this is
Beautiful.
her hand, but she's using, as you can see in the picture to the right, what
Mhm.
nature provided her.
So she hit the colors very well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's a pretty small flower. I mean, I wish there was like a quarter next to this for size, but these flowers aren't massive. And so seeing a lily that close up, and you're seeing it next to my coworker Madeline, it's a pretty massive artwork for something so tiny. And so this was really a trend that she continued to run with. And there are all of those rumors that even when she was living, that this is erotic and she's sexualizing plants and things like that. She like adamantly denied all of those claims. So this to her is a flower. Other people are assigning meaning to it. So she made that very known while she was creating.
She was just admiring what God had created.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and things that have a nice memory with her or a beautiful meaning to her.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you can, we'll look at it again. Very beautiful artwork. It's in this kind of silvery frame. It's just stunning. And the you can't even tell, but there's like the little, I guess it's the stamen or the pistil.
Stamen, yeah.
Stamen.
That canvas, like the oil paint is kind of coming off the canvas with it. So it feels pretty textural too, even when you're in that space. All right, we got two more. We'll kind of, there's not much more to say about these, but
Yay.
nature again, beautiful redbird. I'm sure people have versions of these types of prints in their home and things like that, but nature is always an inspiration for artists. So I thought this was a pretty one, and I grabbed it because it said Maryland. So shout out to Maryland. And then, of course, Elliott Porter. Man, we can't swing our purse without hitting an Elliott Porter. Here we are. He's in Iceland on volcanic ground.
Red pumice.
And doesn't it look like he's on Mars?
Yeah,
Exactly right. Red planet.
And it's just in Iceland. So I mean, honestly, there were so many artworks I could have used of Porter that were red. You pick it. Red crabs, red leaves, red pumice. He is wherever the red was, that's where Porter was. Red birds. But this one, I just thought it seemed otherworldly. It did not, does not seem.
It almost seems like the time of the day. It's almost like a dawn or a dusk.
Well, you know what? Who knows? Because it's freaking daylight there 24/7.
That's right.
I know. Yeah.
And it rains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that haze to it that could be later in the night. Or it just rained and it's got that kind of haze.
And Iceland's a total volcanic island.
Yeah, it is.
And they don't have water heaters in their house.
Yep.
Use water coming up from the ground.
Yep.
Bake your bread in the ground.
Yep.
Oh, I've seen. Did you show us that? Or did I see it on PBS?
It might have been on the Zac Efron special that Netflix published.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he went to that place where he ate stuff that he normally wouldn't eat.
Yeah, like all over the world. And then that particular episode, which was funny, my husband and I actually were there at that particular one, and they give you the pumpernickel. And then it was funny, we saw Zac Efron there, but yeah, he's with that health guru and they're making that bread. And then if you're looking for something like junk to watch yourself some Zac Efron. He is dumber than all get out, but entertaining nonetheless.
What's his name? What's his name again?
Zac Efron. He was on like High School Musical. He's was a Disney kid, and now he's. Bye, Steve.
Bye. Gotta go. I'll see you guys
Steve.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Bingo.
You go tomorrow.
Bingo tomorrow.
And we've looked at Iceland pictures from him before, with Porter before. The one picture I can think of was the cottage that had the really pretty white fence.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that one that felt really cozy. That was that same trip. He went with his son, photographed Iceland, and then they put together a book a few years after their trip, and his son wrote the narrative for the essay for the book. And so a lot of the pictures, like that particular one we saw, kind of gives a nod to human life, although we did not see humans. A lot of the photographs are more along this line, where it's just the nature of beauty and the nature of beauty. And it was shocking for a lot of people when they had seen this book that it wasn't just of the snow-covered Iceland, it was of, the other natural beauties that are on that island.
So do you think he did something to enhance the red color on this?
It's his printing process, and so it really saturates the colors.
Yeah.
So his pictures feel very weighty because of that development process.
It's funny, before I saw the title, I thought that it was some kind of wildflowers just covering the field.
Oh,
That's right.
And then I saw red pumice, whatever.
pumice, right.
Hummus, yes.
Yeah, I just thought it was wildflowers first.
What a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. Oh, wow.
This reminds me of places that, I read about in these fantasy books where they're going to lands where nobody's been before. And this looks like just something they'd be going to, wandering through, looking for a place where they can kill vampires.
How funny. Yeah, so Elliot Porter's photographed it all, folks. I swear we will never not have a picture of Porter, it feels like.
It's
all right,
a
well, next
complete
week
day.
we are back with what did I write? Sports. So we will be looking at pictures. I think I did it all winter sports too, because we're in that Olympic mode. So I think I'm with you 3 times on next Wednesday, Martha.
Good.
So
I'll take it.
I'm just gonna keep showing up.
Please keep showing up. Well, we do have 3 programs, so you come and stay. We love you.
Move on in with you.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I just can't get enough of you, Peggy. I might have to
I love you guys so much. Like, this is like the highlight of my week. So you are like my friends for life now. You guys cannot get rid of me. So
Sweet.
I'm so glad to be with y'all.
Sweet.
But I'll
Thanks.
see y'all
Miss
next
Peggy.
week. Happy Valentine's Day. And
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Yep.
Same to you.
Valentine's Day to you.
bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Peggy. Yeah, she's something else, isn't she?
Oh, she's good.
Oh, okay. There we go. Peggy Spier and Red. Y'all see this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tomorrow, of course, I have already given it away. Oh, today, violin and viola at 11:30 if you want some music in your life. And if you want to hang out for 1:30, Nia with Emily Corbin this afternoon. And then tomorrow, all day long, bingo, bingo, bingo,
Bingo.
bingo,
All
bingo.
right.
And if people show up, we're going to do a prize for every hour.
Really?
Why not? The people eventually that are going to be the 11:30 and the 1:30 folks may totally be different people because they're referred from their doctors, or they don't have dementia at 11:30, or we're hoping for 3 different groups of people. So let's just kick this off right. Yay. Oh, hi, Christine. Anybody have anything they want to share?
Are we going to what 5th Street Cafe now?
This is Wednesday.
Yep.
Don, what would I do without you?
Well, yeah. Wednesday's
Serious.
one of my favorite days.
Well, all right.
Along
Then
with Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's wave at the camera and then we'll go on to 5th Street Cafe.
Hi, camera.